Today's recipe calls for some fire roasted corn. I'm going to show you how to make a spicy shrimp bowl. Even though it's simple, it's packing in the flavor department. It's going to be good. So with that said, let's get started. The first thing we need to do to make this spicy shrimp bowl is prep our spice mix. Using a small apparatus of sorts, like a bowl or a small container, start tossing in the spices. Add a 1/4 teaspoon smoked paprika. This stuff is strong in flavor, so keep that in mind if you were looking to add more. 1 teaspoon cumin, 1/2 teaspoon chili powder for color, 1/2 teaspoon garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon black pepper, 1/8 teaspoon cayenne pepper. This stuff will make things spicy, so adjust as needed for your spicy tolerance. Finally, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. Give that all a mix up to combine it into one dusty mess. Give it a taste test and adjust the flavor profile as needed. Of course, you can use whatever spices you enjoy. This is just a good base to build from. Now onto the shrimps. In a medium bowl, add 1 pound or 453 grams of jumbo shrimp, 21-25 count. Ensure the shrimp is fully thawed out and there is little to no liquid in the bowl. It also helps to buy shrimp that have already been peeled and deveined. The next item we'll be adding to the bowl of protein is the zest from 1 medium-sized lime. Avoid zesting the white part. It's known as the pith and it's bitter in taste. Following that, juice the entire lime into the bowl as well. After you've made the citrus fruit cry, give things a quick mixer. Now sprinkle in the super top secret spice mix and give things a thorough mix about. Ensure everything is well coated in the dry powder. Beware things are going to foam up because the acid in the lime juice is going to react with the baking soda. It's totally safe and nothing to freak out about. It's the same ingredients you would use to make a volcano experiment for science class. Anywho, when you feel like the shrimp is well coated in the red marinated paste, toss it in the fridge for now. Let's start prepping the rest of the dish. Snag a small red onion, give it a spin on the cutting board for no real reason at all. Once you're happy with its performance, cut the top off, which is the non-hairy side. Cut that bad boy into 2 equal sections, or let's be real, do your best to cut it equally. We'll only be using half, so save the other half for another recipe. After you've chosen your favorite half of the 2, start to thinly slice the onion from the top towards the root. We're shooting for a thickness that is on the thin side, so they are not overpowering when you go to eat them. You can also run them under some cold water for a few minutes to take off some of that strong flavor. Alright, on to the next item. Grab 6 to 7 garlic cloves that are medium to large in size. Cut both ends off each piece, then give them a light smash, then peel off all the paper skins. Now that they are naked, thinly slice them into little garlic chips. These are tricky to cut, so watch them little digits of yours. We need those to do math on occasion. On to the next item, which is 6.8 ounces or 191 grams cherry tomatoes. Using a serrated knife, cut the toms into quarters or even into halves. It's up to you on how you want your eating experience to be. A serrated knife will make it easier to cut the delicate item. When you're done cutting the fruit, we can move on to slicing a medium-sized jalapeno. If you're not big on spicy food, you can of course skip this. First, cut off both ends of the jalapeno. Following that, thinly slice the spicy green item into rings. If you want the jalapeno flavor without the heat, scoop out the center. The white part of the jalapeno, known as the pith, is where the capsaicin is held. Ditch that to get rid of that spiciness. Also, to ensure you do not ruin your day, toss a glove on. This way, you prevent from accidentally getting any of that spicy stuff on your hands. Then touch in your eye or any other part of the body you wouldn't enjoy having a burning sensation on. Another item we'll add to our bowl is some fire roasted corn. I just bought a can, which was 14 ounces or 418 grams worth. If you would like, you can totally make your own with probably 2 medium to large ears of corn. Now that you have all the things cut, set them aside so we can move on to the next component, which is the grain part, known as Thai jasmine rice or any grain of your choosing. I'm not going to go into detail about how to make this. I have a full video on how to make it, and I've gone over it a few times, so go check that full vid out later. While the rice is resting, grab a large saute pan, the shrimp, and garlic. Take it all over to the heat source. Once on the thing that becomes hot and bothered, crank the heat to a medium-high level of hotness. Allow the pan to become ripping hot. To test if your pan is hot enough, add a small bit of water. If it immediately turns into spheres of water, you know it's ready to go. Next, drop a small amount of a high heat oil, or enough to coat the bottom of the pan, about 2 teaspoons worth. Next, add in the marinated shrimp, leaving space between each one. This way they achieve a proper cook. You may have to do this in batches, depending on how big your pan is. Also, ensure the pieces are not overlapping one another. This way they cook properly. Cook this first side for around 3 minutes, or until the shrimp has a hard sear on it and is starting to turn a light pink color. After that has occurred, give the crustaceans a flippy floppy. We'll cook this side for the same amount of time, or until the entire piece of shrimps turns a pink opaque color. When they start to slightly curl into a C shape, you know they are done. If you push on a single piece and it springs back, you know it's done. This is also another great way to tell things are good to go. Following that, add the sliced garlic to the pan. Cook the stinky breath mint for 30 to 40 seconds, or until the air becomes fragrant in smell. When everything is cooked, add about a tablespoon of water. This will deglaze the pan, giving us a small pan sauce, picking up the spices that may be stuck to the bottom of the skillet. When deglazed, that pan sauce will coat our shrimp in that spice sauce mix. When doing this step, it'll create a steam cloud which can and will burn you, so be careful of that. After all the liquid has evaporated, take it off the heat source. We need to do some final touches to our rice before we plate this up. To your pot of rice, add the zest of 1 medium to small sized lime. When zesting, avoid the white part. Knock your zesting tool to free up any zest that may be stuck. After that, squeeze in half of the lime. Gently mix the zest and juice into the rice. Do this with a delicate touch. If you overmix or mix it too vigorously, it'll cause the rice to become mushy in texture. Give it a quick taste test and adjust the seasoning as needed with coarse ground kosher salt. Now that everything is completed, let's plate this tasty food up. Snag your favorite eating device holder thing, or simply just grab a bowl. Throw down a scoop of the lime rice. Lay some shrimps over the top of the grains, across, or on the side of it. Finally, add the items we cut earlier, the toms, the onions, the jalapenos, and the corn. We didn't technically cut the corn, but we still need to add it. I think it would be better to mix all the salad type stuff together in a bowl, then garnish it as one whole item instead of individual pieces. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, it'll all taste good. Finally, garnish the dish with a couple lime wedges and some sliced avocado. I forgot to film that part of slicing the avocado, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Eat this bowl with a classic margarita or with a watermelon agua fresca. Whatever you decide to do, just enjoy. Alright, now that our shrimp bowl is done, let's give it the old taste-a-roo. So looking at it, came out looking pretty dang good. There's quite a few different colors going on for it, and it looks like there's going to be a wide variety of flavor as well. The shrimp itself looks fat and juicy. The rice is all fluffy and perfect. You can't really see it, kind of now. But overall, it looks like it's going to be good, and just a touch spicy from those jalapenos. So let's give it a shot. But first, squeeze some lime on, close my eyes so I don't get any of my eyeballs. Give it a good mixer. Try to get a little bit of everything. I'm about to do multiple bites. This came out so good. There's a bunch of flavor going on for it, but everything works really well together. The shrimp itself has a ton of goodness from all those little spices that we added. The cumin comes through really well. It's not overpowering by any means. Then we get a little bit of spiciness from the cayenne, and that chili powder and onion powder and garlic powder also build a good base of flavor. The rice itself has that distinct jasmine flavor, which it's the best rice out there in my humble opinion. And that lime zest and lime juice really brightens the things up and helps cut through the richness of the shrimp and the fat from the avocado. All the veggies bring that pop of freshness because they're veggies, of course. And we get a little bit of a fire roasted flavor from our corn, of course. Then we get some spiciness from our jalapenos, and you get that pop of onion flavor. It's not overpowering, it's just perfect with everything else. Texture-wise, the rice is cooked perfectly. It's nice and fluffy and airy. The shrimp is really tender and juicy, and we get a bunch of crunch factor from our onion and our jalapeno. Overall, it's really tasty, if you can't tell, because I've pretty much eaten it all. This recipe is easy to make, and it makes for the perfect weeknight meal. It's customizable as well. Get rid of the rice and use some quinoa, or use wild rice instead of boring old jasmine rice. And you can get real bougie with it and swap the shrimp for a steak, or just use both because that sounds super tasty. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. And I have to pretend to go be an adult and run around to a few stores, which I really don't want to do. So I'm going to go do that, and we'll see you on the next one. Itself has that distinct jasmine flavor, but brings that pop of... It's gonna take forever. Well, the onion powder, the chili around to any stores because that sounds really lame. So, guess I'm gonna have to go with it to make it any which way you would like. Maybe get rid of the rice because you're not a huge rice fan, and use some quinoa or maybe some wild rice, even though you don't like rice, which doesn't make any sense.